Hi, you're welcome back to this class. And today we'll be going to talk about typecasting, right? Typecasting. And typecasting is actually the process of converting a variable from one data type to another. In the previous class, either the last class, we spoke about uh, variables and types when we talked about strings, we talked about floats, we talked about integers, we talked about boolean. Yes, so now typecasting now is the process of converting the variable from one data type to the other, meaning from converting from strings to integer, from integer to strings, from like that. Okay, so and in this class you're going to know why should we even convert such. All right, why should we even do typecast, why should we typecast? All right, we're going to understand in this class. And yeah, and we actually will achieve that using a function called type. All right, and also in this class we're going to be talking about input. All right, input function. All right, that's a function that prompts a user to actually enter data and returns the entered data as a string, which is one of the reasons why we do typecasting. Okay, so let's come down here and begin the class. All right, so typecasting, say let's we have our string name, right? And name is equal to, let's say, John. All right, John CyberWatch. John CyberWatch. Okay, let's go and check what this guy is saying here. Declared names definable without usage. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead, no problem. And let's say after the name we have another, that's the string, right? Okay, let's do integer. Let's say amount, okay, is equal to, for integer, right, 22. Okay, let's go ahead and now declare our float. So the float, like we said in the last class, is okay, it's when it has decimal like a dot. Okay, let's actually change this one from amount to age. All right, age. Then this is amount, so we can have a float amount, let's say um 232.22. All right, that's a float. Okay, and also let's go on to have our boolean. Let's say is online. You remember the last class is online, so here I'm using another variable name for the boolean. Is online true, which is whether someone is online or offline. Okay, that's what I want to portray there. So okay, let me bold and zoom in a bit. All right, in case you're using mobile to watch, I think it's better like this. Okay, let me zoom in one more time. All right, okay, I think it's better like this. So is online is true. So now let's say let's try to print out name. Okay, like we did in the last class, when we say print name, and we go ahead to run. Okay, what's it saying? Name error. Name is not defined. Did you mean names? Okay, let's go. Oh, names. Sorry, we actually did names. Let's correct this to name. It's supposed to be name. All right. Yep. John CyberWatch. Right, that's the name. Okay. So the same thing, if we go ahead to do print age like we did in the previous class, okay, it's going to print out all these values by Okay, so now let's do typecasting. Now, like we said, typecasting is the process of converting a variable from one data type to another. Okay, now the first thing that we need to do even is um is we use type. Okay, let's even get to know the data type of this guy. So if we now say we want to know the data type of name, okay, we use a function like this. We use a function like type. Okay, type, and we'll now do name. Okay, in that case, it's going to show us what type is name. Is it a string or something? So if I go ahead and run, nothing will happen. Okay, but let's run. You see that nothing actually happens here. Okay, because we actually need to print out the type. Okay, so what we're going to do, we'll go back here, all right, and do print. All right, inside of the print, we'll now do type. Okay, let me clean it. Let me clear it all so that I won't confuse you. Let me start all over. So we'll do print. You know, we have our print function like this. Then I'm going to, inside of it, instead of dropping name, and I'm going to do type. Okay, and I'll do type function like that, and I'll drop a name. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click on run. You see class is string. You see that it's string. All right, so if we bring the age here, all right, and we drop the age here, I'll go ahead to run. You see that it's going to show us integer. All right, if we copy the amount and we drop it here and we go ahead to run, we have a float. See, this is like a confirmation of the data types that we did. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this guy here, okay, online, and let's drop it here. Okay, and we click run. You see bool, meaning it's boolean. All right, so right now let's go ahead to let's take this line off. Let's go ahead to actually do typecasting. Okay, so if we say to typecast, all right, it means this very guy that is a string, all right, that we just checked that is a string now. Okay, let's come back here. All right, if we do name, okay, we do name, all right, or maybe this guy that is an integer age. Okay, if we do age like this, okay, let's go ahead and run again. You see that is int, okay, meaning integer. We can convert, let's go ahead and convert this age to string. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing now. Let's convert the integer age to become a string. Now, before we go there, let's do something. Let's do an arithmetic operation here. All right, if I say age, if I say, let's say total age is equal to age. Okay, instead of total age, let's say current age is equal to age, which is 22, right? Plus 1. So if I go ahead to print total, sorry, current age now. Okay, sorry, print current age, you see that we're going to be having 23, because we now said age, which is 22 plus 1, that is 22 plus 1 is 23. Okay, now this is an arithmetic. Okay, so let's go back here and do, okay, let me so that I will not confuse you. Let me delete this. Okay, and let's go ahead to do typecast. Okay, so if we now say string, okay, like this, and we do age, it means we're converting age as an integer to string. So let's go here and give it a variable name. Let's say conv age, meaning convert age. Okay, so we can come down here and do, if we say print conv age, all right, it will still go ahead to print the same thing for us. Okay, but what if we now say, before we say print age, What if we now say current, like we did before, current age is equal to conv age plus 1. I will now go ahead to now print current age. Let's see what happens. You see now that we have type error. Okay, we see that we have type error. Now we can't add 1 to age anymore. Okay, but still current age is 22. Okay, but we can't add it to it. Why? Because this current age we had already typecasted, we had already changed. At this point we've changed age from integer to string, and you know we can't add two strings together. Instead of that, we'll be concatenating. There's what we call concatenation, meaning when you're adding one string to another. All right, so now watch what I'll be doing now. So if we go ahead and say here we give another variable age in string, all right, is equal to, you can give it any name, okay, but when you're giving a variable name, make sure it relates to what the value that you're going to store in the variable name. So I'll say age in string, meaning I want to give another age in string, let's say 22. All right, so normally 22 plus 22 is 44, but let's see what is going to happen here. So if we say, go ahead and say conv age plus age in string, you see what's going to happen now? Just watch. You see 2 2 2 2. So instead of adding them, it combines them. So that's what we refer to as concatenation. You combine two strings together, all right, by using plus. All right, you concatenate them together by using plus, because this thing is no longer seen as an integer, so you can't do arithmetic operation with them anymore. All right, okay, you might be thinking that, okay, if I know I'm going to do an arithmetic operation with age, amount, or all these things, why should now convert it to string? I'm going to show you in a jiffy why you need typecasting. Okay, like I told you before, when you're going to be using input, all right, to accept user input, you're going to be using going to be needing typecasting. Don't worry, we'll get there soon. Okay, so let me go ahead and even say print type. Let's print type. Okay, let's print type to see the type of that current age is now. Let's go ahead to print type. You see, it's a string. That's what we're talking about, right? So actually, that's how you typecast. Okay, that's how you typecast. You typecast from converting one to the other. The same thing you can do to all this other stuff. Okay, you can do to all this other stuff. Typecast from string to integer to float to boolean and all that. Okay, let's go ahead and typecast age that is 22 to age that is 22 to what do we call it, to floats. Okay, let's go down here and do floats, like we did before, float, and we now do age. Okay, so let's give it a variable name. Let's go ahead and give a variable name. Okay, let's come back here and do age in floats, okay, equal to, so let's go ahead and print age in float. Okay, oh sorry, print age in float. Okay, let's come here and do this. You see, age in float, instead of just 22, it's now 22.0, meaning it has converted the, what do we call it, it has converted the 22 that is integer to a float. All right, so the same thing it can happen here. You can convert any type to any type. All right, that's what type conversion or typecasting means. So let's go ahead here and talk about user input. Okay, like I said before, user input is a function that we use to accept user inputs, okay, from the keyboard. Now, here we will say name is equal to this is equal to that. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we are not going to be hard coding. We're not going to be coding like putting the values here like this in real life scenario, like in the real life software development. You don't do, not all the time you do this. There are some very rare occasions. If you really want to do things, you allow the users to enter, okay, their values. All right, so let's come down here and actually do that. So we use input function like this, okay, to enter. All right, so if we go ahead to say input, all right, and we run input and we run, okay, so look at it. Under here there's an input prompt there, but we can't see, and I can enter anything, okay, and press enter key. It's now that it's, if you see the process finish, that's when the code actually finish executing. Okay, so let me run again. You see that after the 22, that thing finish executing is not there. It means there is a prompt therefore. So after we've entered something, we press enter key on the keyboard and it will finish executing. But if you check this thing very well, this does nothing to us. All right, so in order to make it more meaningful, we have to make this very input prompt or function interactive. Okay, so I can come here and actually, after dropping your input prompt or function, you come here inside the parentheses and you open your double quotes and you say, maybe what do you want the user to enter? The first one is name, right? You can say enter your name here. So maybe do a full column and put a space. All right, do a full column and put a space like this. So if we go ahead and do play or run, you see enter your name here. If I go ahead and say John CyberWatch, I press enter, you see it's finished. But in the real sense, it makes no difference also. So I think what we should do, we should come down here and do print. Okay, print. In that case, we're not just going to do inputs like this. Let's give it a variable name so we can print something out. Okay, hope you're following. All right, so let's say name, that same name as if it's the same way we declared at the top. Okay, we can go ahead and do name equal to this. Okay, let's say my name or user name. Let's use username equal to this. It was actually underlining it because we had a name declared at the top there, right? So let's go ahead and say username is equal to input, enter your name. So here we can say print username, print username. So if we go ahead and do this, enter your name, and I say John, oh sorry, I had to click in the terminal here and say John CyberWatch, and I press enter, you see John CyberWatch. Okay, so we can also make this one interactive. Okay, we can say, can use our file formatting style to do your name is, then instead of doing that very name like we did in variables, okay, we do username. And you remember the curly braces, so we'll do username this way. Okay, so if we go ahead to run the code again, you're going to see enter your name here. I will say okay, John CyberWatch. All right, when I go ahead to press enter, you see your name is John CyberWatch. You understand? Okay, now you remember what I said when we were talking about the typecasting. Now let's go ahead to now do something that will make you to understand why we actually need to typecast in a lot of cases. Okay, so let's go ahead and say okay, let's remove the print from here yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and say enter. Okay, let's say h. Okay, let's do the full like we had before. Okay, let's do h. Okay, let's go ahead, let's go up there and change those names, okay, so that it won't conflict. Okay, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Okay, so we can come down here and declare our ages, names and all that. So let's change this one from username to name. Now let's do age is equal to input. Then we can go ahead and say enter your age here, and I do this. So I'll click enter again, and what's the next variable name? The next variable name, let's say, okay, this we actually created this again. Let's go to amount. Okay, let's do amount. So amount without an s is, we do input, then we go ahead to do enter your amount. All right, enter your amount. Now we've gotten all this now. Okay, so let's now do quantity. Let's introduce a new variable. Okay, let's do quantity. Like, let's do like you want to buy something from a grocery store. Okay, let's do quantity. You know, if you want to know the total amount you need to pay, you will have to multiply the price per product, okay, by the quantity. So you have to multiply amount and quantity. Okay, so let's go ahead and say quantity is equal to, let's now do input, enter, okay, enter total quantity, quantity purchased, or bought, let's say bought. Okay, let's give a space. All right, so let's come down here because I want you to see the need for typecast. Okay, so if we come there down here now and do let's go here and do print, let's drop our print. Okay, and let's do our file formatting by putting the F. So let's go ahead and say your name is, you remember, curly braces. So let's drop that stuff there again. Your name is curly brace name. All right, let's do a comma, and let's also do let's bring another curly brace down here. Let's put our age there, years old, you know, like we did in the previous class. Okay, old. um let's also do a comma. You can do a full stop, and it depends on how you create your statement. It all depends to you, but I'll put a comma here and go ahead and I say you bought, let's now do quantity number of goods, then the at of goods. Okay, I just entered to so that it to break down. Hold on. Okay, of goods. Okay, let's stop this one at quantity here so it won't go off the screen. I'll, except I bring it down a bit. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay, let me zoom out. Sorry. Okay, let me zoom out that way. I hope you can still see it. Okay. Okay, quantity, you bought quantity of, let's say, of pizza, and your total price at, okay, let's just say pizza at, let's now drop amount at amount, okay, naira each. Okay, let's go ahead to run this. Okay, now it's telling us what, that string age. Okay, it's actually reporting this other one. So what we'll do, let's go back up here and disable maybe and comment out all these guys. Let's comment them out. Okay, what I did, I highlighted everything. I now press Control key and press the comment. All right, I'll press comment. I hope we're coverage. Okay, I think it's remaining this. Okay, let's just comment these ones out also. All right, everything out. Okay, right. Okay, I press Control and I press slash key. Okay, so everything is commented out, so no error anymore. So let's go ahead and run the code. So enter your name here. So let's go ahead. I'll do John CyberWatch. Okay, press enter. Enter your age, let's say 22. Enter amount. Okay, instead of amount, okay, we can correct that. Okay, enter amount. All right, hold on, let me stop. Just stop it. Let's go ahead and correct it. Enter amount. Okay, enter amount. All right, enter amount. Let's go ahead and run again. Enter name, John CyberWatch. Okay, enter age 22. Enter amount. Let's see, the amount for one pizza, let's say 9,000. 1 2 3. Then enter total quantity, let's say 4 or 3. Okay, you now see your name is John CyberWatch. You are 22 years old. You bought, okay, not you bought 3 of pizza at 9,000 naira each. Okay, now that's just a clean code here that is just bringing out everything we entered. Okay, now for you to understand the need for typecast, let's go down here and do, okay, permit me to zoom in a bit again. All right, let's go down here and do, sorry. All right, hope it's better like this. So let's go down here and do a little bit of arithmetic, okay, of calculation. So if we want to know the total amount, okay, we'll now do total underscore amount, all right, is equal to amount, all right, multiply. Okay, now I know we've not done operators, arithmetic operators, okay, but plus is plus, okay, but when you want to multiply is like times. You want to multiply something, you do asterisk. All right, you go ahead and do asterisk, sorry, like this. You go ahead and do asterisk. Okay, quantity. Okay, so if we go ahead and say um um why is it giving us this unexpected types? Okay, you see, it's even reporting the types already now. So unexpected type, string, possible type, and all that. So if we go ahead to run this very one now, okay, if we say it should print out something now, okay, let's comment out this line and say print. Let's go ahead and say print total amount. You see that it's going to bring error. All right, let's say your amount, your name, yeah, sorry, enter your name, say John CyberWatch. Enter your age, let's say 21. Enter amount. Okay, amount is let's say 9,000. 1 2 3. Enter total quantity bought, let's say 4. So as soon as it gets here, you see type error. Can't multiply sequence by non-integer of type. It's because you want to actually multiply 2 strings. Now amount here is a string. Quantity here is a string. Age is a string. The same thing as name, that is a string. Okay, so what we need to do now to correct, to save ourselves from all this error thing, okay, here at this point is typecast. So which one do you want to see? Okay, like age now, want to see age as integer. So what you need to do, you come here, you drop your int, open your parentheses. Make sure you enclose the whole input function in the parentheses, in the int parentheses, okay, which is this, sorry, which is this, okay. This is what you do. Age is supposed to be an integer. How about amount? Amount is supposed to be a float, because it might have kobo, or it might have cents there. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, let's go ahead and close it up. We come here, quantity. Also, quantity is supposed to be integer, right? So we'll do int, and we go to the last part and do close parentheses, sorry, parentheses like this. So if we go ahead again and run this code, okay, go ahead and run this code. What's the name? John CyberWatch. Okay, age 11. Enter amount. Amount, let's say amount is 9,000. 1, 2, 3. Let's not change the values now. Okay, enter total quantity bought, and let's say 4. You see, so now you see that we have it without any mistake, 36,000. Okay, that's 9,000 times 4. So let's go ahead and make that print, this very print, interactive also. Okay, so if we go ahead to do this, we'll come here, we'll drop our formatting F. Okay, so we'll go ahead and say, and we'll come here actually and do square curly braces. All right, now I'll come here and say the total amount to pay is, okay, it's, now we'll not drop amount. So let's go back again and run the code. So we'll do, what's the name? John CyberWatch. All right, enter your age, let's say 21. Enter amount. Okay, let's change the amount now. Okay, let's do 5,000. Enter total quantity, let's do 4. So we are expecting to see 20,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and press enter. Total amount to pay is, you see, 20,000. Now you now see the reason behind why typecasting is important, because any value, you definitely want to accept or need to accept values from the users. Then any value you accept from the user is using this input, because the only way you accept values from the user is in Python programming language, is by using the input function. And any value you accept using the input function will be taken as a string. Now, in order for you to do your arithmetic or your computation in your code or within your software, you now need to go ahead to convert what you need to convert. It means you need to typecast. Like in this case, we typecasted age to integer, we typecasted amount to float, we typecasted quantity to integer. All right, so that's why you need to know. In any case, if you don't know uh um actually that's why you actually need to know each of the each of the data types, okay, that we have in any programming language that you are coding or you are building developing software with, so that you know how to convert to typecast very well appropriately, and you not have issues while you are actually running writing the code. All right, so basically, we in this class we are able to go through typecasting. We now know what typecasting is. Okay, we now know the different data types, how we can typecast. We actually checked how we also learned how we can actually check for the type of any variable names that we have. All right, and also okay, this is an error here. Okay, let's take it from there. Let's take it from there. And also we now use input to accept users input. Okay, and we went ahead to actually work with the values that users entered on the terminal. Okay, so basically this is typecasting and input function. Yes, so in the next class we will continue with other topics. Thank you and see you in the next class. Bye for now.